America! You're Nazis! Nazis!
This is the video that sparked the recent wave of protests on the outskirts of Paris. A young black man called Theo is seen being arrested by 4 police officers. Theo says during the arrest, he was anally raped with a police truncheon. His injuries sent him to hospital and required major surgery to repair. And this has been the reaction. There have been daily protests since the alleged attack. This weekend, around 2,000 people demonstrated outside a courthouse to demand justice for Theo. The protests started peacefully but quickly descended into violent clashes. One officer involved in the Theo incident has been charged with rape, 3 others with aggravated assault. But Amal Bentounsi, who runs an organisation opposing police violence, says many people still don't believe justice will be done.
Very few cases, very few police officers have been convicted in the past 30 years. Today, we live in 2 parallel worlds. There are people that are not touched by this violence, and there are people that are facing it every day in the suburbs. We are in a state where we have no rights anymore. We are not in a country of human rights anymore. We are in a police state.
But police say they are under attack. This video is from last year, when a group of youths pelted petrol bombs at this police car. A police officer was left fighting for his life.
The woman in the video survived, but both passengers, a 26-year-old man and a 2-year-old boy seen earlier in the video, were killed. The woman told police that another car blocked her as she drove through the alley. A gunman got out of that car and began shooting. Police are reviewing the Facebook video for potential leads on the shooter.
Iraqi Christian refugees are angry at the UN's resettlement process. About 200 Iraqi Christians marched outside the UN regional headquarters in Beirut on Monday. One banner said, quote, "The future of our children is wasted." Thousands of Iraqi Christians fled to Lebanon seeking refuge from ISIS atrocities and the fighting. Many of them are waiting to resettle in another country. Human rights advocates say Christians have a more difficult time getting into the UN program because they can't live in the UN camps for fear of persecution.
Well, you never hear of refugees from the United States, but Canadian border officials are reporting hundreds of them. They're refugees from the Middle East who were legally admitted into the United States, but now worry that their legal status could be revoked. Canada has a more welcoming refugee policy. This Syrian family you're seeing now crossed on Saturday through the woods into Quebec. The Canadian Border Agency says there were 369 such refugees from the United States in November, and in December, there were 591.
This is America! You're Nazis! Nazis! You Nazis!
Get out of our neighborhood.
You Nazis!
Get out of our neighborhood.
You Nazis!
Don't belong
You
here.
put me on the internet, you fascist!
This all began back on February 12th in 2015. Sergio and Monica Leorazu's Piñata store, they had been operating for 8 years and had 3 years remaining on their lease, was razed by the landlords from hell, F&F Real Estate Ventures. F&F hastily tore it down in order to facilitate having a South by Southwest event on the property. Jordan French of F&F insinuated in an interview with Culture Map Austin that probably their livelihood was selling helium and stolen bicycles. Sergio had been charged with theft by appropriation in 2014 after buying 2 stolen bikes. French continued, "They weren't making a living selling piñatas, they were selling something else. I don't want to speculate what that is." However, he went on to suggest that it was likely uncontrolled substances. That's just my opinion, though. French added, "Say you have a house that was infested by roaches," French described it. "You have to clean that up," and thus a battle ensued. In December of 2015, Sergio and Monica reached an undisclosed settlement with F&F Real Estate Ventures, while F&F's founder, Jordan French, had to resign from his own company. Enter completely innocent small business owner Rebecca Gray and her Blue Cat Cafe sitting next to where the Jumpeline Pinata store had sat. Rebecca would now have to endure emails of dead pigs and dead cats, raging protesters representing anti-gentrification.
You know, if they're defending our hoods, then they live here. So if, you know, let's follow the logic. If I'm living in their neighborhood, if they're defending our hoods, then what are we talking about here?
And the local communist organizations threatening her patrons and committing undeterred acts of vandalism. Rebecca was caught in the middle for simply being in the wrong place at the wrong time. The local commies and their twisted reality had jumped at the opportunity to viciously champion their leftist, anti-capitalist, un-American, Marxist drivel.
The People's Republic of Austin, Texas, Beijing on the Colorado River. These are not your Starbucks communists who, you know, sit around talking about existential Marxism in the postmodern age or some pseudo-intellectual crap. These are people who believe in actual sedition and violence, and they're hate-filled, they're racist, and they don't dare pick on any of the other gentrification places around here. What they're doing is they're focusing on one place here and hoping to drive them out or drive them to distraction. They're Maoists. They support Stalin, and this can be seen on their Facebook page, and Mao Zedong, and the Shining Path of Peru.
I don't really have a problem with the Communist Party. I don't know of anything they've done that was terrible. I mean, it's not the Cold War or anything. And then Blue Cat Cafe hasn't...
Pol Pot, Stalin. Ring any bells?
Yeah, but that...
Millions of people dead.
If you don't like it, move to another country. Get the out,
They just called you a yuppie and said for no reason.
He can say whatever he wants. That's fine.
It's free country, right? Yeah.
Hey, why don't you get the out of here?
Oh, good.
Why don't you get the
All right, bring it on, baby. Bring it on. So the Blue Cat is now surrounded by communist scum. They have infiltrated private property. The police aren't aware that this is private property. They're not sure what to do, whether it's private or public property. That's private property. Their own private property. So,
we're dealing with them. We're aware.
Well,
they're protesting.
Well, yeah, but you can't protest on private property.
We'll take care of it, sir. We'll take care of it.
Well, it's private property.
We'll take care of it.
All right. They think that what they're doing is a righteous mission, but in reality, they're part of a movement that believes that they will take down the United States and the U.S. Constitution.
You like Alex Jones? He loves Alex Jones. I bet he does. Look at that pasty ass kid. You know that cracker likes Alex Jones? And look how many red guards there are. There's 100 red guards here.
There's not 100.
Cracker punk.
One white guy called another supposed white guy a cracker.
Look at the master race, everybody.
I'm an American.
These pathetic, gross.
I'm no master race. I'm an American mutt, just like the majority of people here. The only difference between me and you is I believe in the Constitution.